Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to episode 16 of my 7 Days to Die series. And today, what I wanted to take care of, since I got most of the getting started stuff done in the previous episode, is first off, I want to see if this road somehow connects over to this road. It more than likely will. If it turns out that it goes through the main central city, I'm probably going to avoid it. But I'm wanting to see if at least there's another building somewhat nearby. I didn't go south on this road, so if there's something, which I doubt there will be, but if there's a building here that will be more helpful, I'm wanting to make my base somewhere in this forested area. But first, before I do that, I have to get to it. I do want to demonstrate something really quick with the sledgehammer that I picked up. Oh, and there's a zombie now. The awesome thing about the sledgehammer, if you can get one made, is the one-hit headshot nature of it. Everything... Ooh. I don't want the last thing right now. Pretty much everything except for maybe some of the bloated things. Like the bloated cop or the just the regular bloated one. Ooh, another building to loot. I'll have to keep that in mind. Are basically just one-shot kills with this thing. It is a fantastic weapon. I definitely recommend trying to go for it if you can, as early as you can. I hear you. I'm ignoring you. And it does look like this road is going off to the west. That's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is adventure around on this road, see if there's anything useful, any other buildings, maybe closer to the forest area. If not, I might have to do my adventuring. Oh, that's Sigh from running out of stamina. I might have to do some adventuring in the area of the forest and see if there are any buildings up that way that I might be able to use as a secondary base, or maybe even a primary. But for right now, I am going to just see if this connects. And then it's off to figure out where I want a permanent base, because I'm going to need to get started on that. So I'm going to cut here, do some wandering around, and if I find anything interesting, or nothing at all when I'm done, I will be back and let you know. Alright, so I found a little bit of a neighborhood. There are two houses, one there, and I'm on the porch of the other one. And just beyond the house over there, there's a church with a cemetery around it, so it does tend to spawn some zombies. But I just killed a bloated zombie that had a pistol, and there are even 3 rounds. Let's put that. Let's see. Oh, and it had 15 rounds in it already. Fantastic. So I've got a weapon just in case. But I'm going to primarily be using the sledgehammer for right now. But what I want to do is see if there's anything useful down here in the basement. And I see a gun safe. That is wonderful. So I'm going to break in here. This might take a little bit. So I'll cut and then be back when I get to the gun safe. Alright, it was about half a minute to open the gun safe, but here we go. We've got hunting rifle parts, pistol barrel, that's useful. Well, I can just go ahead and take it all, but that's good to know. There's a gun safe here, so as long as I keep that empty, it will keep respawning whatever's in it. Now, there might be... I'll take those. There might also be something upstairs, and that's kind of the other thing that I wanted to look at. There's usually... It's not this room, it's this room that has a ladder, so let's see. Ah! Hopefully there's nothing up here to kill me. Doesn't sound like there is. I see a cardboard box, some trash. There might be something in there, so I'll break through and be right back. Okay, so there are blueprints for an iron helmet, as well as a few spare books. Might as well just go ahead and take the books, why not? I don't think there's going to be anything useful in the trash. Oh, there's some feathers. Nothing in the bird nest. Alright, so it's pretty empty upstairs. I'm going to go ahead and loot the rest of the house and see if there's anything useful. Probably will be at least some food in the kitchen, I would hope. And then it's off to finish investigating the area. I'll probably go take a look at the other buildings next door, and if there's anything good, I'll let you know. If not, then what I'm probably going to end up doing is making my base somewhere in this area. Ooh, what's in here? Nothing! So I'm going to get back to my searching, and I'll be right back. So I have determined that I like this place. Plenty of trees nearby. There are some buildings that will spawn occasional things that I can eat or drink or otherwise use. And most importantly, there's a cliff here. The reason why I wanted this cliff, why I selected this cliff as the important feature, even though it's right next to the graveyard here, is because any hordes that happen on that side of the cliff, let's see here, towards the west, or any amount of westward spawning, will all go around the cliff and head off towards the east. So the only thing I really have to worry about are hordes that will come in from the east. The way I'm going to be setting this up. And the way I'm going to actually go about doing that is I will have an entrance to my domicile kind of up on the side of the cliff here, a little up above ground, and it will be sloping down to, I don't know, probably a depth of, I guess, about 20 something sounds good. I'm not going to be making a huge trench or anything, just a tunnel straight down. I will use some doors to keep the zombies at bay, multiple doors, so they have to, if they even break through one, they still have at least one or two more that they have to get through if they can manage to get in, which without having a reason to go up into the hole, and it'll just be a hole, they probably won't even be coming in. But I'm going to have to set it up after I dig the actual tunnel, and that's going to have to be at the start of the next day probably, because I need to go get my pickaxe. I did get a bunch of stuff, including some antibiotics, so that's awesome. And I have just enough wood planks here that I can go ahead and make a temporary storage chest so I can put some of the stuff that I don't want to carry with me in it and just leave it here. But I think I've picked a good enough spot to start as my main base of operations. It's near enough to some water here, and over there, so I'm not going to run out of water. And once I get a bucket, I can just have water inside my base, so I don't even have to worry about that. But for right now, I'm going to clear this stuff out and hopefully get back to my temporary safe house up that way, and then hunker down for the night, and hopefully I will have, by the end of tomorrow, I will have a tunnel dug for me to begin work on my underground house. So, I'll be right back. Alright, after making it back here, I wanted to do something. First off, I have the pickaxe in hand. Thankfully I didn't have to make the pickaxe, but I have the resources for it up there. I am going to take some things with me, namely that, just in case. Probably that will be needed. I'll take some logs, and oh, I might need that. Some of these. Yeah, I have enough of that. That should be good for now. Oh, yeah, I've got glass jars. Yeah, I should be good. Take that as well. All right. The thing I wanted to point out is from here, clearly you can see where my bedroll is. It's the little house on my compass right there, moving back and forth. But there's nothing else on the compass other than some cardinal directions. I want to be able to know exactly where my house is. So, in order to do that, I'm going to right-click on the map and set a waypoint. And it will tell me exactly how far away it is, 1.5 kilometers. And if I turn around this way, it shows up on the compass as a little red flag. Now, important thing to note about that is if I want to set a waypoint there, that waypoint moves. You can only have, at least at this point, one waypoint, which is unfortunate. Like if you're on a server and you want to mark different hotspots like people's bases and whatnot. I thought I had that turned off. You are going to have to deal with just one waypoint right now. But I'm going to head back and get to work on the tunnel, which will be the access point for my base. And once I get that started and dug down and relatively secure, I will be right back. Okay, so I have begun to work on the tunnel. I am at the wall here. I have a little hole there. It isn't impossible to get to, and that's not really the idea, to make it impossible to get to. It's just improbable that a lot of the zombies will try to get in here. Also, I have additional means of keeping things at bay under the guise of these hard metal doors. And I'm going to make 3 of them. There we go. Takes a little bit of time to make them, but what I can do with them is place them like this, and they will act as a ice barrier to keep things at bay. The gap up above might be big enough for, well, no, even the crawlers would have to be able to knock it down to get up there. So, yeah, they would have to go through the door. Now, the door can be reinforced twice, but for right now, I don't have the resources to do that. And what I'm going to do is have multiples of these. Whoops. Like so. And finally, the last one right there. So even if something does try to come in, they have to come through 3 doors to get to me, and all that ruckus, I should be able to hear them coming. So I should be pretty safe for right now. So here's the beginnings, the entryway to what will be my underground house. My plan is to make it fairly sizable, and there are going to be different wings that have different functions. But for right now, it's just a little interior 3x3x3 room with a doorway leading to nothing just now. And everything beyond this door will be the rest of the house. The storage wing, the food production, probably a room with a bunch of gun safes or something. I don't know. I will plan it out probably as I go, and just interact with whatever things pop into mind, instead of have some sort of solid plan. I'll leave it a little bit nebulous so I can change my mind if I want to. But I have the rudiments of a base. I've got the forge and some storage. Now I need to reset my spawn point, but I don't want to do that in this room here just in case. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is get to work on pushing this back a little bit and having a little room really close by that I can use as a sleeping quarters. I am going to be using, for the most part, if I can figure out where I put them. Of course it's this one. The wood frames reinforced once, because it doesn't really need to be reinforced a whole lot down here, unless I want to do it for appearance. As the walls, ceiling, and floor. Maybe later, excuse me, maybe later I will change the material. I hear a hornet. I will change the material to something else that's more visually suitable, but for right now, it's just for the purposes of being flat, and I don't really care that I'm not going to get all my wood frames back if I change things out later. It's no real big deal. But another room that I do plan on having access to from down here is a mine, so that I can start getting some resources in bulk. And I don't know if there are higher densities of different materials at different depths. And also I don't know technically what depth I am. I mean, I can bring this up and I know what my coordinates, north, east, southwest, my cardinal coordinates are, but other than that, that's weird. There's a little circle, or a semicircle here. That's... Am I seeing that right? I am. I will have to see what that is. That's bizarre. Looks like there's another smaller one. Maybe when the buildings generate, it clears out an area? I don't know. I'll have to look at that in more detail later. But for right now, I'm going to push this back and set up a room so I have a spawn point here. So I'm going to take care of that off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, the first room past the entryway is complete. Well, not complete, but started. And I have a sleeping bag in place, so now I will respawn here instead of way over here. I do still need to go empty this out, and right now my priority is going to need to be getting some iron for one thing, but also a lot more wood, because I'm down to what, 25 planks, and that's just not gonna do much. That'll get me 3 frames and 1 upgrade. Not much. So I'm going to, I guess, go on a resource gathering trip. First off, though, I am going to go up to the northeast and see what's in this building, because I hadn't done that yet. So maybe I'll find something interesting. If I do, I'll let you know. If I don't, then when I come back, I'll have a bunch of resources. Either way, I'll be right back. Alright, so I think I had a pretty good haul. Aside from the fact that I was able to find pretty much, let's see here, all but this bottom row here and these 5. I got all this stuff from the gas station, or whatever that is. And there's some coffee, some gunpowder. Got a hoe, so I don't need to make that. Later I'll eventually get into the whole garden thing, but not quite yet. Got some glass, different gun parts, pretty decent amount of stuff. But one really important thing that I got was a book which tells me how to make all the different types of ammo. So I have all the bullets and shells. There we go. There's the shell there. I'm pretty sure I already knew how to make the buckshot. But yeah, it's a good haul. Also, just before I left, I went ahead and carved out a little hole right here and dumped some water in by way of a bucket, which is here. And the bucket recipe is just, let me bring that up, just 7 iron bars, so almost 2 whole iron ingots. Not quite 2 whole ones, but almost. Basically, I have an infinite water supply there. Unless the mechanics change for the game, which I don't foresee them doing that, it should pretty much be such that I can just walk up to it with some jars, like so. And that's just one blob of water. Just walk up to it, scoop it out, and now I've got some murky water. That easy. So, all in all, good haul. I did see one thing that I'm going to take a look at later. Let's see here. You can go there. And you can go there so you don't stink up my inventory. Somewhere over in this general direction, I saw a supply crate, a plume of smoke, when I was over here getting the water. I don't know exactly where it was that I saw it, which direction I was looking, but I know it was visible from here. So I have a feeling if I just stand around here long enough, the plume will show itself, but I don't want to go looking without having a more specific... Ah! I see it! This way. Straight over there. So let's see here. I'm facing that way. So I will put it right there and have something to aim for later. Excellent. But I'm going to go ahead and offload the stuff that I got and see if I can get some things crafting. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up because I don't want this episode to go on too terribly long. I'm going to try to get back into the habit, if I can, of shorter than half-hour episodes. Not promising, but I'm definitely going to try to at least limit it to half an hour, so these aren't too terribly long. I have some tentative plans for the area, but I'm going to see how my resource production goes. It's going to basically revolve around how much iron I can get in short order, so I'm going to have to do some serious digging around here, trying to find some iron, breaking a bunch of boulders probably, whatever I can to get some iron so I can get some resources up. Excuse me, frog in my throat. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. I will do my best to get back to you either in the comments or in the videos themselves. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. But I definitely need to wrap this up so it doesn't get too long here. So thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.